Fail fast is the mantra in startup circles, a phrase often repeated with an almost religious fervor. It suggests that rapid iteration and learning from mistakes are the keys to success. But while this approach might work for some, it's fundamentally not how billionaires play the game. Their strategies are built on a different set of principles, a different understanding of risk and reward. The world's most successful entrepreneurs, the individuals who have amassed fortunes and shaped industries, don't collect failures as trophies, they actively avoid them, viewing them as costly detours on the path to their goals. They understand that failure, while a learning opportunity, also carries significant consequences. Their strategy is about foresight, not trial and error. It's about anticipating challenges, mitigating risks, and making calculated decisions based on thorough research and analysis. Instead of learning from their own mistakes, which can be expensive and time-consuming, they study the failures of others, dissecting them to understand the root causes and identify patterns that can be avoided. This approach allows them to save time, money, and perhaps most importantly, their reputation. They recognize that a damaged reputation can be difficult, if not impossible, to repair. Why pay the price of failure, enduring the financial and emotional toll, when you can learn the lesson for free by observing the mistakes of others and extracting valuable insights? Every misstep costs capital, time, and morale, precious resources that are essential for building and sustaining a successful enterprise. These are resources billionaires fiercely protect, understanding that their efficient allocation is crucial for long-term growth and stability. The top 1% aren't reckless gamblers. They don't blindly chase opportunities without careful consideration. They're strategic observers, constantly monitoring the landscape and identifying potential risks and rewards. They analyze markets, human behavior, using data and insights to make informed decisions and anticipate future trends. And most importantly, they study the mistakes of those who came before, learning from history to avoid repeating past errors. This lets them sidestep common pitfalls, navigate complex challenges with greater ease, and focus on building something new, something innovative, something that disrupts the status quo. The fail-fast culture can glorify defeat, sometimes even celebrating mistakes as badges of honor. But billionaires aim to win by making competition irrelevant, creating entirely new markets where they can dominate. Their approach is pragmatic, a blend of strategic thinking, careful planning, and a realistic assessment of the challenges ahead. They strive to minimize risk while simultaneously maximizing innovation, creating a balanced approach that fosters sustainable growth. They don't just recover from setbacks, they don't simply bounce back after facing adversity, they avoid them in the first place, proactively identifying and mitigating potential threats before they can materialize. The real game is about creating, not just surviving. It's about building something lasting, something impactful, something that leaves a legacy. It's not about being the toughest in a crowded market. It's not about fighting for scraps in a saturated industry. It's about being the smartest in a new one. Pioneering uncharted territory and establishing a dominant position. Success at the highest level means shifting from romanticizing failure, from viewing mistakes as inevitable steps on the path to success, to strategically pursuing victory, making calculated decisions and leveraging insights to achieve ambitious goals. The best business leaders don't wear their own failures as badges of honor or signs of experience. Instead, they study the failures of others, meticulously dissecting missteps to understand the anatomy of a business collapse. They recognize that every failed venture holds invaluable lessons. History is a free textbook, an open-source repository of triumphs and tragedies. It's packed with lessons from those who stumbled before you, offering a wealth of knowledge to those willing to learn. Why pay the price of personal loss, enduring the financial and emotional toll of missteps? Why make the same mistakes when you can learn by observing the paths others have already trod and the pitfalls they encountered? Stop learning by losing your own money and time. Start learning by watching, analyzing, and understanding the market forces at play. Before you dive in head first, committing valuable resources, pause and study the landscape, assess the risks, and identify potential obstacles. Find companies that tried and failed in the same arena you're considering. What critical details did they miss in their planning and execution? What went wrong in their strategy, their operations, or their market analysis? These answers are a roadmap of what not to do, a guide to avoiding the pitfalls that have already claimed others. Top achievers see failed companies not as cautionary tales designed to instill fear, but as invaluable case studies. They analyze financials with a fine-tooth comb, scrutinize marketing campaigns, assess leadership decisions, and meticulously review customer feedback. They do all this to spot recurring breakdowns, identifying patterns that lead to failure. This rigorous analysis lets them avoid unnecessary risks, sidestepping dangers that others have already fallen prey to, and it allows them to conserve resources, focusing their energy and capital on real innovation and sustainable growth. It's not about fearing failure, becoming paralyzed by the possibility of making mistakes. It's about respecting your time and capital, understanding that both are finite and precious resources. Why repeat lessons the market has already taught, lessons that have already cost others dearly? By learning from others' stumbles, by studying their missteps and understanding their downfalls, you gain a competitive edge, positioning yourself for success in a challenging landscape. You pave a clearer path to success, avoiding the detours and dead ends that have trapped others. The smartest path is to enter the arena with insight gleaned from the experiences of others, not just fueled by blind hope and unfounded optimism. In the vast landscape of business, there exists a fundamental dichotomy. The world is split between red oceans representing crowded, competitive markets where companies fight fiercely for every inch of market share. These are the industries where established players clash, often resulting in a brutal battle for survival. And then there are blue oceans, symbolizing untapped, competition-free spaces. These are the uncharted territories where innovation thrives and new markets are born. Red oceans are where everyone fights for a slice of the same pie, a finite resource that diminishes with each competitor. This constant struggle leads to price wars and shrinking profits, a race to the bottom where only the most ruthless survive. Blue oceans, on the other hand, are new markets, where you set the rules and create demand. You're not just competing, you're defining the game itself. In red oceans, companies battle for existing customers, trying to win them over with better deals or incremental improvements. But in blue oceans, you invent new value and attract new buyers, creating a whole new customer base that didn't exist before. True innovation and real fortunes come from creating blue oceans, from venturing into the unknown and establishing new frontiers, not fighting in red ones. The path to lasting success lies in pioneering new territory, not battling over scraps in a crowded arena. Think of airlines or smartphones. These industries often face endless competition with little differentiation between products and services. The goal isn't to be the best fighter in a red ocean, constantly battling for dominance, but to be the only player in a new game, to create a market space where you have no rivals. Visionary entrepreneurs look beyond industry boundaries, beyond the limitations of existing markets, and challenge conventional wisdom, questioning the assumptions that hold others back. They focus on unmet needs, identifying gaps in the market that others have overlooked, and new customer groups, reaching out to segments that have been underserved or ignored. Their aim is not just beating rivals, but rendering them irrelevant by creating something entirely new. By doing so, they make old benchmarks obsolete, establishing new standards of success. You're not just playing better than the competition, you're inventing a new game, with its own rules, players, and rewards. The future belongs to those who create, to the innovators and pioneers who dare to venture beyond the known. Not those who compete, to the relentless fighters who are trapped in a cycle of diminishing returns. Don't divide a shrinking pie, don't waste your energy fighting over scraps. Bake a new one, create a new market, and reap the rewards of your innovation. That's how you escape the cycle of competition and failure, by charting your own course and creating a future where you are the only player. Tesla, led by Elon Musk, is a masterclass in blue ocean strategy. Instead of building a better gas car, Tesla redefined what an electric car could be: fast, high-tech, and desirable. They made traditional factors like miles per gallon irrelevant, focusing on range, software, and a unique sales model. Tesla built its own charging network, solving a key pain point and raising the bar for the entire industry. The result? Years of uncontested growth while competitors scrambled to catch up. Tesla didn't outfight Ford or GM, they created a new game and dominated it. Cirque du Soleil didn't try to outdo traditional circuses, they reinvented live entertainment. They eliminated costly animal acts and star performers, borrowing from theater to create a sophisticated, artistic spectacle. This new blend appealed to adults and corporate clients, not just families. Cirque du Soleil wasn't a better circus. It was something entirely new. They created a blue ocean, thriving without direct competition. By combining differentiation and low cost, they redefined the market. Cirque du Soleil didn't just capture the circus audience, they created a new one. That's the power of making competition irrelevant. How do you find your own blue ocean? There's a formula. First, study failures, not your own but others, to spot patterns and avoid repeating mistakes. Next, challenge your assumptions and look for unmet needs or underserved markets. Focus on non-customers, people ignored by current offerings. Use tools like AI and big data to spot trends and validate ideas quickly. Once you see the opportunity, move fast. Blue oceans don't stay blue forever. Create a value proposition that makes you the obvious choice for a new group of customers. Study failures, avoid repetition, find unmet needs, use modern tools, and act decisively. Start your journey by dissecting business failures in your field. Pick 5 companies that flopped, big or small, and dig into their stories. Gather news, reviews, and financials to reconstruct their strategies and missteps. What assumptions did they get wrong? Where did they misjudge the market or their own abilities? Look for patterns and recurring mistakes. Document your findings and extract the key lessons. This knowledge is your foundation for building a smarter, more resilient strategy. Now, shift your focus to what's missing in the market. Identify gaps where innovation is absent or customer needs are ignored. Study non-customers. Why aren't they buying? What's stopping them? Look across alternative industries to see how people solve the same problem in different ways. Find opportunities by combining the best elements or eliminating trade-offs. Examine strategic groups. Can you offer high-end features at a lower price or vice versa? The biggest opportunities often lie in serving those the market overlooks. That's where your blue ocean may be hiding. With insights from failures and market gaps, apply the 4 actions framework. Eliminate, reduce, raise, create. Cut out what no longer adds value, reduce overserved features, raise what matters most, and create new value elements. This breaks the trade-off between differentiation and low cost. Your goals offer a leap in value that makes competition irrelevant. Don't just be different. Be different in a way that unlocks new demand. The future belongs to those who create their own market space. Start now, make your competition irrelevant, and write your own rules for success.